So next is logic functions. So logic functions are pretty powerful because you could place in conditions, and we'll go through multiple examples on how you can use this to your advantage. Let's start with AND. So this one, AND, it takes in a list of conditions. So it could be any number, you're not limited to 1, could be 10, it could be more than that. So what AND does is, you could see here, so this is what we call as a truth table. So what you can see over here is if you combine true, false with AND, and this is the result. So you can see over here, I'm actually using AND, and I'm just using these two values. And what you can see over here is we have true and true, false, false, false and true. And the main logic of AND is it needs everything to be true, and it will give you a result of true. Otherwise, it will always give you false. So let's go through that again. For AND, everything needs to be true, and it will give you true. Otherwise, it's always false. So just to give you an example, we have this date, January 11, 2015. And let's say I have a condition, so you can see here, I actually have two conditions. This is the first condition, and this is the second condition. So what I'm saying over here, okay, I want to check if the year of the date is 2015 and the month of the date is January. Okay, so I want to check if the year of the date is 2015 and the month is January or 1. So I have two conditions, and this comes up as true because it satisfies 1 and 2015. So you can see over here it's true. But let's say we have another value, which is 211 and 2015, and actually it automatically has my save formula over here, and it gave me the value of false, meaning that this condition of mine didn't satisfy when I tried using this date. Because this is not 1, this is not January, and even though it satisfied 2015, since we're using AND, it has to satisfy everything for it to be true. So it's just saying that this one passes, it's 2015, but this, the month, didn't pass. So it gives back a value of false. Next is count blank. So count blank is you just give it a list. So it could be individual values or a range of values. So what I'm doing over here is I have 4 values. So hi, blank, hello, and a blank. So if we use count blank over here, and I give it the range of A to the D2, so you can see this one, it counts the number of blank cells. So you would have 2 over here. So these are empty. So let's try the usage. Let's type in count blank. Give it a range. So I'm just holding shift again, and I'm selecting for the first 4 cells. So you have 2. So just to demonstrate again, let's try out count blank, and let's see if it works fine. If not, then we have to use a range. So let's pick this one. So this is the cool thing with Excel. You could try it out as well if you have a hunch that, hey, maybe I can try this out. But if it gives you hints or error messages where it says that, hey, you have too many arguments in this function, so my usage is incorrect. So this is another way of saying that you don't need to memorize the formulas. You could just play around, try it out. If you forget the exact parameters, you could just have a look at the formula and also work your way through it. So it's more of just understanding the essence. Once you understand the essence, then the formula is as good as yours. So which means I need to select a range here, choosing the shift button, and it now works fine. Next is COUNTIF. COUNTIF is saying in this specific range, and then you have a condition saying that count the number of values meeting this criteria in this specific range. So for example, over here, let's check the formula. We're saying that, okay, given this range from A2 to D2, which is these 4 values over here, count the number of values wherein it's less than 10. So if it's less than 10, so we have these values, 2 and 1. Both of them are less than 10. So it immediately counts the number of values that satisfies this condition for you. So let's try it out. Count if, and then let's the range over here. So let's hold shift, get the range, and I'm typing out the condition that it should be less than 10. So let's close it out, and this gives you 2 numbers. So for if, what we have here is we're specifying a condition. If this is true, then do this. Otherwise, do this. So what we're saying over here is if we have a condition, like if this evaluates to true, then you should do a specific action. So it's like go left if it's true. Otherwise, go right. So what you have here is, let's have a sample scenario where you're scoring somebody and his score is 78. Let's check the condition. So we have the condition, if it's 75 or above, we show a pass message. If not, we show a fail message. So what we have in this condition is if A2 is greater than or equal to 75, then that's our passing rate. Show a message of pass. If not, show a message of fail. So let's try it out. So if this one, the value, is greater than or equal to 75, then we show a message of pass. If not, then we show a message of fail. So it gives you a pass value. So just to show you that our formula is working fine, let's place in a different value. Let's change it to 65. So it should give you a fail message. So once you enter, now shows fail. Next is large. So large is you just give it a list and you specify what number like the formula should return to you. So you're specifying here is the nth largest number. So just to explain further, let's have a look at this example. So we have 4 numbers, 100, 250, 150, and 400. And let's say that I want to get the 3rd largest number. Okay, so if we want the 3rd largest number, so let's sort it out for the 250, 150, 100. So the 3rd largest number is actually 150. What you simply do is you place in a range of values first, a list, and you specify like the 3rd largest number. So it gives us 150. So let's try it out. Large. So the cool thing with this one, your list doesn't have to be sorted. So Excel does it for you, and then we're getting the 3rd largest number. So we have it as 150. Max. Max is you just give it a list and it gives you the largest value. So over here it's pretty obvious that the largest number is 400. So you can see over here that we're just passing the range and Excel does the rest. So let's type in max, pick a range, and you get 400 right away. Min, on the other hand, is the minimum. So it's just the exact opposite of maximum. So we give it a list as well. Over here, we have our 4 values. The lowest value is 100. So the usage is the same. Just give it a range. Let's try it over here. Min. Pick a range of values. And you get 100. Next is not. Not is more of just giving it a true or false value, and it simply gives you the exact opposite. So if it's true, it returns back false. And if it's false, it gives you true. So just to give an example, let's say we have -75. Let's have a look at the condition. So what we're saying here is A2 greater than 0. So we're saying that this is this not positive? Because if we say greater than 0, then we're checking for a positive value. So is this not positive? And it evaluates to true, because -75 is actually not positive. So let's try it out. Not this one greater than 0. It's not positive, and it gives you true. So if we give it a positive number, so it should evaluate to false. So let's say 100, and it gives you false. Next is OR. OR is actually, like, you could think of it as related to AND. It behaves differently, but it's also used in a similar way. So what we're passing in is a list of conditions, and this is our truth table this time. And you could see that this one, like if we combine true or false, it gives the, like for the OR function, so it gives back as true. So if it's true and true, it's true. If it's false and true, it's also true. And the only time it becomes false is when everything is false. So for our OR condition, everything needs to be false, and it will give you a false value. Otherwise, it's always true. Okay, so let's go through that again. Everything needs to be false so that the OR formula gives you a false value. Otherwise, it will always give you true. So just to give you an example, let's have this data over here, January 11, 2015. So what we're placing in this condition is the year 2015, or is the month 5 or May. Okay, so what you can see over here is that we're checking if it's 2015 or the month of May. And one of them is true. So one of them is satisfied, which is the year 2015, which is why if one of them is true, it gives you back a value of true for OR function. So what we have is another example. What we're saying is the year 2014 or is the month May? And both of them, like, they don't satisfy January 11, 2015. So which is everything's false. So the OR formula will give you false. Okay, next is small. Small is, you could think of it as the opposite of large. So we just give it a list, and we want to specify the nth smallest number. So instead of giving you the largest number from large, it's the opposite. We're starting from the bottom. So for example, we have this example. We have the 4 values. What we're telling the small function is, from this given range of values, give me the second smallest number, which is, if we like list it out over here, let's sort it out. 100, 150, 250, and 400. So the second smallest number is 150. So let's try it out. Give it a range, second smallest number, and it gives you 150. SUMIF. SUMIF is, we give a range of values again, and we specify a specific condition. Like what SUMIF will do is, given this range of values, I'll add all of the values that meet this criteria. So let's have these 4 values. And what our SUMIF function is doing, given these 4 values, sum up all of the values that are greater than 200. So if we list all of them out over here, so the values that are greater than 200, it's only 250 and 400. And if you add both of them together, that's 650. So SUMIF, let's pick a range. Let's specify the condition. So that's greater than 200. And it will give us 650. VLOOKUP. VLOOKUP actually is one of the most important functions in Excel. So what it does, so we have VLOOKUP, this value. We're looking for a specific value in this list and get me the value in this column. I think it's better explained through an example. Let's say we have this table. This table is, we have the name, gender of the specific person, and the age of that person. So we have 3 columns over here. And look at the usage of this one. We have VLOOKUP, carry, and in this range. So we're actually having this range as the whole table and followed by 3. So what this means is we're looking for carry from this table and give me 3. 3 would mean the third column. Give me the value of the third column in this table that matches the word carry. So actually what's happening with VLOOKUP is we're matching the value like in the first column. So we're only matching carry in here. So VLOOKUP would always look at the first column. So that's where we're searching from. Take note of that. So for example, you're saying that give me, I want Ron over here. Look for Ron from this array, from this table. So we have the table array, and then we want to give it column number, which means what specific value do you want to return about Ron? Of course, if you place 1, 1 is actually the name column, so it gives you Ron. But if we change it and say, for example, 2, this would mean we want to get the gender of Ron, which is the second column, so it will give you male. But if we change it now to 3, then we're saying that give me the age of Ron from this table, and it will give you 28. Okay? So VLOOKUP is a very powerful formula for looking for values in a given table.